One of the things that's most wonderful about life is our friends. Aristotle tried to teach us that there are different kinds of friendships. For example, there are reciprocity friendships, and I'll bet you have at least one or two of these. Every time you do something for another person who you see as your friend, you do it in anticipation that now they will do something for you. So there's a kind of reciprocity expectation that occurs in the friendship. I have friends, for example, who whenever I pay for the food when we go out to eat and it's $28, they write down $28 and make sure that the next time we have a relationship activity, they have somehow done $28 worth of benefit for me so that we're somehow even, and that's very important to them. That's a reciprocity friendship. Aristotle talks about a higher form of friendship, though. It's a friendship in which two become one. And what he meant by that was that with this third kind of friendship, the kind of friendship that I want to build a particular kind of critical thinking around, this third kind of friendship, when I think about what's good for me, I do so only after I've thought about what's good for you, and I try to unify those so that our community of two perhaps, but nevertheless our community is better off. I ask the question, what can I do that makes us better off, not me better off? Critical thinking is taught and is learned, usually in the United States, because of the individualism that's central to the meaning of the United States. Our love of cowboys, our love of individual heroes, our love of the person who overcomes their difficulties, that single, solitary, wonderful individual. Because of that emphasis in American culture, it's very logical that when critical thinking is taught and learned, it's taught and learned as a means of improving your individual mental capabilities. So that when you've been taught critical thinking, you now are elevated in terms of how your mind works. The critical thinking that I'm going to try to encourage is a critical thinking that takes the individual who is learning critical thinking or has learned critical thinking and teaching them how much better the critical thinking can be for our community if you just involve the other person as a teacher as well as you're being a teacher. Let me try to explain. Okay, so you and I are having a conversation and we disagree. We disagree aggressively. I don't like at all what you are thinking. So what is the best way to approach that? Now, I have a set of skills and you have a set of skills and we can try to dominate each other. And after that's over, so what happens? One person supposedly wins, the other person loses, and so what? Probably nobody changed their mind. It's very, very hard to change somebody's mind with good reasoning. Sometimes over time, good reasoning prevails, but it's very rare for somebody to say, you know what, you're right. I wish I hadn't taken that position before. That's not usually what happens when people have disagreements. A different approach, consistent with Aristotle's third form of friendship, is that when you make a statement and tell me the evidence and the reasons associated with it, and I do the same thing, the opening thing I say to you is not, I think you're confused because I don't say that. That's an effort to dominate you. Rather, I ask this question. You know, I was listening to you and I really appreciated that part of what you were saying where you demonstrated a compassion for all people. I wish more people felt the way you do, and I so applaud that in what you had to say. That's the way I begin to talk to you, not with not with my reaching into my bag my catalog, my repertoire of knowledge, and showing you that you're wrong. Rather, I say to you, I respect you. I want to hear from you. I want to learn from you. And I hope that you'll have the same kind of interest in my thinking. So I would say, I think I heard you say, and then I would express your argument, and then I would say to you afterward, did I get it right? Did I miss anything in what you were saying? Because I really want to appreciate where you're coming from. The kind of friendly critical thinking that I want to outline in the second book that we're publishing is a critical thinking that builds on the strength of both parties to create a new community between the two of you, or however many people are involved, a new community where everybody is a learner and everybody is a teacher.